So in this video, I'm going to talk about my first direct signing with a title company and what I did to get hired. This is going to be a super practical video. Anyone with a computer and internet connection can pull this off. Also, stick around until the end because I'll be sharing 3 mistakes that I made that you could possibly avoid on your first direct signing job. So it's important to remember that I did as many signings with contracting companies that I could until I got the experience and confidence that I needed to approach local title companies. At which point I just knew. I developed the confidence. I'd done enough signings to know that I could handle any kind of package they brought my way without strong feelings of anxiety. Not to say that I don't feel a sense of nerves when I get new signings. It's just that these nerves are more related to meeting new people and places, as opposed to the actual work itself, you know? Also, it's equally important to get exposure to the professional network of signing services because when I'm anticipating going direct in the future, the professionals and CEOs of this network of signing services can be added to my list of references, which in my opinion is highly understated in this industry because I strongly believe adding a list of references to my resume is what propelled me to appear more favorable in the eyes of the title companies. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm gonna show you guys the steps that I took to get direct business. It's very simple. So first off, I went on Google Maps and I searched the keywords title company. Then I gathered all the title companies in my area together with their telephone numbers, their websites, and email. Basically any info I can get, I just added it into my list that I created with Microsoft Excel. So I created a list of over 100 companies. And once my list was done, I created a short script to introduce myself and to find out if they'd be interested in contracting with new closers in the neighborhood. And I just did it that way. Rinse and repeat. Rejections, exceptions, neglections, passive aggressions, you name it, I sensed it. But that's how it goes. I just continued on with my list until it was completed. As a quick side note, here's what I realized. For every 20 calls that I made, 5 companies would ask me to email them my resume. And from those 5, only 3 would actually respond to my email. So that means 15% of my calls were with serious, interested title companies. Now, if you look at it from that perspective, it gets very interesting. Also, I thought to myself, resume, like an ordinary resume? Why would title companies want to see my resume? Wouldn't a description of my notary closing services or a listing page be more appropriate? Or what about a hard copy of my certificates? Nope, a resume. This is what I learned in the field. But I personally decided to go an extra mile. So in addition to my original resume, I added 4 extra pages of key documents to highlight my credentials to title companies and to position myself more favorable. All of which I'll leave in the link below for free download. So I've coined this term the resume packet, a 3 to 5 page packet that includes additional forms to my ordinary resume. And it turns out it worked like a charm because I even got feedback from the title officer saying it was very impressive. But hey, I digress. So after 1 week from submitting my emails, I created a new script, printed my resume packet, and I hit the ground running. I drove to every local title company that responded to my emails, which was more than 3 because it was over 100 companies that I called. I then went and I visited all of them personally. I figured I'm already in correspondence with them, so showing up wouldn't be so much of a cold lead. They'd already knew who I was from my prior emails, and all I had to do was put a face to the name. And less than a week after applying these tactics, I got a call from one of the title companies, and I did my first direct signing. It was for a purchase loan with two first-time home buyers, young couple, millennials. They just bought their first home, about to start a family, which was so beautiful. And we closed at a local law office. And quite frankly, it was the first time I ever had a closing with a local senior attorney. To be honest, he was the one that actually guided the borrowers to the paperwork. He was very charismatic and professional with the signers. There was the real estate agent. She was also there, and I was also there. I acted as his second pair of lenses on the paperwork. I reviewed the docs, make sure to not miss any signatures or initials, and I notarized the forms, and we did it that way. I made $150 in less than 45 minutes, and I was ecstatic. And that's it, guys. That's how I got my first signing job with a local title company. It was a learning experience, one that I'll never forget, and it just goes to show that not taking no for an answer, it can change the things for you if you apply yourself and become bullish about growing in this business. You can't just sit back and wait for these opportunities to come to you. You got to go to it. Anyways, here's the 3 mistakes I made that you could probably avoid in your first go around. The first one I did was I didn't negotiate the price up front because I was so excited. I was so excited to get the signing. I did it off the strength that it was a local title company. I didn't want to jeopardize my opportunity to build this new relationship by bringing up a contentious matter so early. I figured I could discuss that after the signing. Granted, the signing the title company were very, very professional and ethical, and we settled on a fair price after the signing. But that may not always be the case with others. So I want to set clear boundaries and good habits from the beginning so that my behavior becomes automatic moving forward. It's just a way to operate, in my opinion, that safeguards your interests and makes business and the negotiation process more streamlined. Secondly, the second mistake was I returned the documents without taking a photo of the closing disclosure to capture the escrow number. This is very important to capture because it's a solid way to protect my interest in the signing job. And it's also good to add the file number to every invoice that you send back to the title company. It just looks more professional, and again, it's a safe way to navigate in this business. And then the last mistake that I made was I returned the loan package unorganized. In other words, the returned loan package was not organized in the same way as it was in the beginning. Working with signing services, you send the loan packages back unorganized, and you're not quite sure if that's, at least I'm not quite sure if that's causing delays or not. For the most part, I try to make sure it's organized, but never had the thought that, okay, I need all the documents to be as in the same order as it was from the beginning. I found out through this process that it actually delays the process for title officers. That was a new tip for me. So you wouldn't really call that a mistake. It's more of a learning lesson. But luckily, she was the title officer. She was very understanding about it, and she encouraged me to do it better for the next time. If you know someone that would enjoy this video, feel free to forward it to them. Please subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and let me know what's your best tip for getting direct signings in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.